Welcome back to Her Story. We're looking into Florence now, just like kind of a tangential thing, trying to figure out what the like, not that it matters that much, but it informs who the character of Eve is if we know why Florence, the like midwife or whatever, took her away after the fact. So I think we'll skim these clips real quick, and then watch the last one.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence.
When my parents first lived...
I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't.
So this really feels like it's Florence's doing. Because the implication here, based on what we learned before, is that like Florence is probably has trauma of her own and wanted a child very, very badly, and figured out that this was finally her opportunity to have one by stealing one from these people by telling them that the twin died so she could take it away.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby.
Yeah, that's the nice occasion one.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight.
Yeah.
It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with...
Yeah, and then seeing her reflection, seeing her twin across the road, which, very convenient and all. Let's see about...
Florence was a warm, kind person.
This is the...
diary.
So this one, it's not... It's informative, but it's not pertinent to the crime. Let's see what the new one is then.
No. It was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
That's not great. I guess let's see. I think baby is just gonna come up with a lot of shit. Yeah. What about like pregnant or pregnancy? All right, here's some new clips.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow.
Both our parents. Oh, her and Simon. Okay, so it's sort of a shotgun wedding situation, sort of old-timey perceptions of got to be married to have a child. That's what she was saying before about how their wedding was not like perfect, but she enjoyed it.
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, this is the clip immediately after she vomited.
Some days.
So she's not that far along.
It's morning sickness.
But they talk about in a later clip, Eve seems to talk about how she'd like gotten chubbier and flush and all that. I mean, not that we can necessarily base that purely on the video evidence, since the whole, it's acting, right? They didn't make the actress actually get pregnant so she could appear different in like in a different set of clips for the other character or something like that, or they didn't doctor her, didn't put like prosthetics to make her look larger. But maybe the other possibility is that's a separate thing. Like Eve talks about it in post tense, kind of past tense. It's kind of unclear.
Well, yes. found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
On your birthday? Okay, don't... If you're pregnant, don't hold it back from your partner, especially if you're married. But in general, just don't hold that to yourself unless it's like a really bad situation. I guess maybe that's the implication, is that Simon's... I don't know. Like, they paint Simon... She explicitly talks about how Simon's like a good guy. Like too nice and tries to smooth things over. So that's probably not what it is, but there's also, you know, every relationship has conflicts, like she said. So it could just be, you know, having an argument like the one that led up to all of this. All right, so what else can we get out of like the argument that led up to this? She said she told him on her birthday. When is her birthday?
Yes, that's my birthday.
What
Not one of
is?
the big ones, but I guess you can see that.
What is your birthday?
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
Are we talking about the mirror? Is that why the mirror is bagged? Is because, okay, so the mirror is bagged. The mirror is bagged as evidence. It's not particularly visible from the video because the video is crappy, but given the other discussion that was had, it sounds like the mirror was broken in some form that night? After the argument? During the argument, possibly? Hold on. Let's see.
No. Well,
No, this is the one we
yes.
just watched. About it being her birthday.
from when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday.
What does she do?
The birthday
Did I
meal was a
forget some
takeaway,
discussion of that?
and
Is she a
Simon gave me his
teacher?
present, which I didn't mind.
Didn't mind the...
And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument.
I guess we could look at the
Simon
present.
left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could.
Hold on.
And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious.
Okay, so they argued about
I
the
wanted to
baby.
get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
Alright, that seems like an important clip.
A week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
Saturdays. Hold on.
A week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends.
What
have a lie
happened the
in,
Saturday
then want to
before
get up
her
and blitz the
birthday?
house.
I don't understand that clip. Let's see if we can contextualize that.
So, it was Friday
No,
evening.
that's after. This is probably also after.
I left the next day, Saturday.
That's coming back from Glasgow.
It was late. Early Saturday morning.
I think this is the same. No context. What do you mean blitz the house? I don't know. I assume she means clean, but I don't know. Hannah and Simon? Let's see if Eve talks about Hannah and Simon together. Okay. Wait a minute. I thought this was clips of Hannah. Is this an Eve clip?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
I wish I knew what the tapping was about. I feel like that's not... It's too specific to just be random tapping. Okay, not a lot there. So here's Eve talking about the two of them, probably.
She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us.
For both of them?
Tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything.
Eve definitely
She's
seems the
shy
more
one.
confident, yeah.
She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl.
Who the hell's
Hannah was
Carl?
the best. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity.
What?
It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush.
Didn't they mention a hairbrush
Half
before?
that in turns that I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Also, this like continual like perpetuation of like not only the narrative, the cultural narrative surrounding female virginity, but also this like the actual biological thing of like the hymen. It's not a thing, but given how like the equality or relative equality that has been gained by women and the tendency for women in current day and age to well, I guess this is the 80s or 90s, 94, so she was probably born in the 70s or 60s, so it's a little iffier. Women having actual issues with like tearing their hymens during their losing their virginity is like kind of not really a thing. Not very much. It is for some specific people, but not as like a general rule. It's a thing I see get written into things too often. It's just bizarre. All right, so God, are we gonna look at the hairbrush thing? I think the hairbrush was about the hair, though.
Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon.
So we'll look at the hairbrush and Carl.
We only had one best dress.
Probably doesn't matter. Carl probably doesn't matter.
Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl in our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
The Ouija board, jeez.
After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules.
What rules? The rules that you
She
share?
wanted to be the first to sleep with him.
Or was the rule that you get to sleep with him first?
I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
Okay, maybe we need to look up rules too then. Let's see this one and then we'll look up Carl.
Miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile.
Hannah had a miscarriage
But
and...
the universe had
What?
corrected its course. We were aligned again.
So who's fucking pregnant? Eve is?
But
Did Simon get Eve pregnant? Is that what this is all about?
they were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now.
Eve seems more vindictive about this whole thing too, so maybe it's payback.
And then
Okay. We'll come back to this. See you guys next time.